Dearest mother, dearest father,
Oh.
this letter will be the very last that I write to you from the rising stones. As I commit these words to parchment, I fondly recall my journey as a scion. From the time I first walked into the Order's former halls, to the time I set forth to forestall the final days. At the farthest reaches of the Sea of Stars, we fought the battle of our lives. Fought against despair itself, a veritable maelstrom of it fed by the resignation that dwelled in the hearts of beings not so unlike ourselves. Full oft have I harbored the same malaise. Have I been brought to my knees, crushed by the weight of sorrow and defeat, convinced that I will never rise again. However, I have also known many moments of unbridled joy and happiness. By this truth do I find hope within, blooming resplendent, like the Elpis flower. And thus do I endure.
Hey, Flamen.
Do I look forward to creating more memories with my friends and loved ones. For from these fertile seeds, yet more hope shall spring forth. And they will grow to become shining lights that illuminate the dark.
She deserves a hug from all of us.
Thus believing, I leave the rising stones behind, as will my comrades.
Oh. Where are we going?
For, as we have decided, after careful deliberation, we are disbanding the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Makes sense.
There you are, Alphino.
Aye.
Everyone is already gathered in the foyer.
My apologies. I'll be right there. At least, that is what the story will be.
Oh. 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 Curious.
Sorry to keep you all waiting.
What could you possibly have left to do now?
Just writing letters.
Oh, just a letter.
I imagine it will be a while before we can gather like this again.
So it must be, if we're to keep up appearances. From now on, it falls to the Grand Company of Eorzea and its allies to deal with the realm's crises.
I'll manage.
Meanwhile, we shall return to our erstwhile ways. Retreating from plain sight, to take our place in the shadows once more.
Oh, that's the plan.
Indeed. For the foreseeable future, I expect that we must work independently as we seek out problems that want for solving. But a day will come when we face another great challenge, and we will face it together, as we always have.
Problem is, everyone knows our faces. Like,
As much as I look forward to that day, I do hope it doesn't come anytime soon.
you walk into a room.
Well, formal association or no, if any of you should require my services, you need but ask.
Aww.
I'll be glad to keep my lance arm honed.
Hey. Good boy.
I'll hold you to that. So you had better keep your link pearl on hand.
So you really mean to stay, Tataru?
Of course she does.
Oh, someone has to keep the Rising Stones in proper order. And even a super secret organization requires a super secret base of operations.
Oh my.
To the rest of the world, it will be naught more than a workshop for Eorzea's foremost up-and-coming artisan.
Of course.
If you thought our coffers were full to bursting before, just wait till I can devote myself wholly to the crafts.
I can't wait.
Plotting to build a mercantile empire to rival that of Lord Lodorito, are we?
Rival? Nah. He's gonna buy that guy off.
I, for one, look forward to your future successes, Tataru. As do I our next meeting.
And with that, I believe it is past time you all made ready to depart.
Get out of here.
Leave no preparations undone or words unsaid, all right? Now, off with you.
Defeat Xenos. Oh my god. Speak with your comrades. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad that Flamin and Thancred are talking with each other. Wonderful. As they should. Ryle. It's a little strange now me Linkpod's gone quiet. Since my unique skills are no longer needed for the safety of the star and all that, I'm going to become an adventurer like you. Trolling far and wide. I imagine I'll start by heading to Maricidia or the New World. Just need to find myself a ship first. Onworld has pressing matters, according to him anyway. A pity he couldn't be here to witness the momentous occasion, though he bids me tell you congratulations. As for me, well, once the science disband, I intend to resume my work in Raga's Reach. Good. I suppose Onward will need support in Gearbania too, though he would not admit as much. Well, he will have my help, whether he wants it or not. Oh my god, are we getting cutscenes for each of these? Hello, Ren. How are you feeling? Any lingering aches or pains? No, I'm fine. I can't apologize enough for sending Xenos to find you in Ultima Thule. Edward out, kind of. When he came to me in Sharlayan, I was truly torn. As ever, there was only one thing on his mind. Forced to make a decision, I reasoned that if he would not be deterred from seeking you out, he might at least aid us in our course, and so I struck a bargain. In the end, he was true to his word, and you defeated him despite your earlier exertions. But knowing the state you were found in, I could have ended very differently. A decision almost cost you your life, and no words could express the remorse I feel. You did the right thing. I would have died if he hadn't been there, probably. It's a relief to hear you say that. Thank you. Time and time again, I've been made to feel woefully inadequate. Nah. Wasn't much use in battle, nor could I face the forum without my nerves getting the better of me. Always fell to you and the others. I must, and will, do better. I shall begin with the restoration of the students of Balasian. Through our work, Sharlayan will strengthen its ties with other nations, that we may be better prepared to face whatever threats arise in the future. Of course, this isn't something I can accomplish alone, but thankfully I have the staunchest of help in Raha and Ojika and other remaining members. Together, continue Grandfather's work. As before, certain commissions will take us to dangerous locales, and we may need to call upon seasoned adventurers. In such times, might you be willing to assist us? Not because you feel obliged, mind you, but because you feel a lure for the task itself. Hey, of course, still have to finish Eureka at some point. Marvelous. Should something of interest arise, I shan't hesitate to reach out to you. Until that day, I shall endeavor to become a more dependable comrade. Aww. You're one of the best potatoes in the entire game. There's legit a cutscene for each of them. Oliver, pray forgive me for delaying the gathering. I was writing a letter, you see, to my parents. As busy as Father has been tending the aftermath of the Exodus, he has been good enough to show concern for the Scions. And besides, I've made them worry enough for a lifetime. Henceforth, I will endeavor to write as often as I'm able. A little effort to set their minds at ease while we continue to be away from Sharlayan. With Elazé and I off to assist with Garlemald's recovery, you see. Though uncertainty remains over what will become of the nation, it cannot well leave the capital in its present state. We will rejoin those members of the Elsabot contingent still stationed there. Lucia and Maxima helm the relief effort, with support from our allies, the people of Garlemald among them. They will gradually be rejoined by those who have finished treating the tempered across the lands. Lest you misunderstand, we do not seek redemption for failing Licinia and her sister. That is a burden we must always bear. Nay, we go because of the truth in Lord Quintus's words. The truth that, whatever ideals individuals may espouse, nations are not moved to action unless they stand to benefit. For the foreseeable future, the fallen empire will be at the mercy of both internal and external forces. And though I do not doubt the intentions of the contingent, with greater powers involved in the relief effort, our allies may well find themselves drawn into a political agenda. In going, we seek to ensure that the needs of the people come first. To understand their hearts, that we might better help them to begin anew. You'd best write me too. No, I'll visit when I can. Don't send me letters, please. By all means, full glad would I be for your visit, and I believe I speak for Elazé as well. For fairly as long as I've been in Eorzea, you've been at my side, watching over me in good times and in bad. How many times have we gathered to share tidings? None could possibly keep count. The world is changing and will continue to do so, yet no matter what the future brings, I hope that I can ever look to you. In good times and in bad, as a dependable comrade and a dear friend both. Thank you, Laverne, from the bottom of my heart. Okay. Those 4 done. You were but an amateur adventurer when first we meet, but look at you now. You've grown into quite the fine young lad, just as I always knew you would. One might say I ought to settle down in my own age, but seeing you now has set my adventurous spirit ablaze once more. The first journey I set out upon will be a long-awaited hot springs tour with my dear friend Homei. Good plan. There has been naught but chaos since the Telophori first appeared. Towers, lunar primals, the empires, holidays, yet we have weathered all and lived to see the sun rise on a new day. Now that peace has returned, I can finally resume my travels with my grandfather. Perhaps we'll go first to Kugane to relax in the Bukaisen hot springs. That might be nice. Of course, my journey will not simply be for pleasure. I will collect information on the territories I travel. Perhaps I shall visit Naxia via Doma. That would be cool. Laverne, seen to your preparations, have you? I'm just making another sweep of my belongings. Couldn't do to find I've forgotten something halfway to my destination. Oh, in case you haven't heard, we received new reports detailing the devastation caused by the holidays. It appears the situation is gravest in the land surrounding the bounty, where the sky first began to burn. After that, the calamity was observed in the far north, in Garlemald and the frozen lands beyond. We also had reports of the heavens catching fire in isolated locations, one of which was an area in the northern empty. Had our quest taken any longer, Charlie and too may have come under threat. Yeah, we know. Thank goodness it's over now. To be sure, blasphemies and lesser beasts may still be roaming about, but these localized crises should be well within the capacities of each nation to handle on their own. Science are no longer needed. Which isn't to say that we won't help out where we can, of course. As individuals, no more of this order business. For my part, I'll be heading to Garlemald with Alphino. They were among the worst affected and still need all the help they can get. It won't be easy. An inevitable part of aiding those in need is coming face to face with tragedy. Knowing it doesn't make it any easier, though, that I'll curse my weakness, my inability to fix every problem and save every lost soul. But no matter how much it hurts, I won't give up. I'll do what I can for as many people as I can, begrudging no effort. And should I find myself discouraged, I'll remember you. Think back fondly to one of our many moments of triumph and the accompanying determined expression. Even those that still annoy me in retrospect, like when you activated the teleporter without warning. And should you hear about me, I want you to remember too. Remember that I'm out there somewhere, trying my very best. I think you can keep up with me. I look forward to hearing all about the legendary Alizé Levelier. No, let's keep the spirit up. She did make that challenge. You asked for it, so you'd better watch out. Oh yes. The next time we meet, I'll be vastly improved, so don't be surprised when you find yourself marveling at me. Aww. Cute. Laverne, thou hast spoken with our comrades? Though this parting be not forevermore, there's nonetheless occasion for sorrow. Akin to a pixie's path, the navigation of such farewells is a perilous endeavor indeed. For their part, however, the Loperites embark upon a new beginning. Though bereft of its purpose of a vessel, the moon yet remaineth hospitable for the creatures of Eferis. Thus do our lunar visitors convene with the Forum, intent upon assigning some new and beneficial role to our solitary satellites. Yet ere that may come to pass, there is much more each party must learn of the other, a process which doth promise to be eventful indeed. To that end, a cadre of Luperites have gleefully dispersed across all lands in the name of mutual understanding. Heidelin, 'tis said, did imbue them with her love for all things born of the star, and it's Venar's own nature, I believe, which doth manifest in this irrepressible, inexhaustible curiosity of theirs. Having witnessed that which they strove to achieve, I wish most keenly for their long labours to be rewarded, that their abiding affection for man result in a boon for all. Moreover, I hope to continue our acquaintance and share in such knowledge as they see fit to impart. I'd call it a friendship. I did not wish to presume. I would be honored should they consider me a friend. For it's certainly true that I have grown fond of the company. Goodbye. But I shall digress no further. This day should belong to the scions of the seventh dawn, to mine incomparable companions. Ofttimes have mine reticence caused thy grief, mine actions spurred allies to suspect betrayal, and yet here amongst you I still stand. No amount of words could express my gratitude for thine acceptance and forgiveness. Thus indeed, I do proffer my humble support, be it unto the deepest abyss or the highest heavens, even if I must needs founder across stormy seas, ever shall I answer thy summons. Oh, I still do have that crystal. Do I have extra text? Did I forget to mention anything? Ah, yes. The Hannish envoy who came to see Estinian also bore a letter from Matzia. He writes that Mervan and Kursav's little girl is doing well, and he often goes to visit her. It won't be easy growing up without her parents, but with her fellow villagers watching over her, I dare to hope that she won't want for warmth as she grows up. I understand that, following thy clash with Xenos, the teleportation device thou had discarded fell to thee from on high. To return to thee in such a manner, I did confer with Wolfson and Brovida, and they insist the device was possessed of no such capability. It was a miracle befitting the nature of the place, where emotion becometh tangible reality. Whence then arose this timely wonder, thine ardent wish, or another fervent prayer? Oh, I should mention that Erenvel has kindly agreed to share aught of potential interest he hears from his fellow gleaners. In exchange, we will help them to restore the archives to their proper order. With the Exodus abandoned, all items must be returned whence they came, a task no less grueling than their removal. Even now, Ujika assists in the sorting of arcane artifacts. Oh yes, not only is he a skilled administrator, he's also a certified appraiser specializing in relics from the 5th Astral Era. Despite his qualifications, though, he seems none too keen on the work. I shall have to go and relieve him as soon as I can. I've been keeping Ironwald abreast of the situation on letters, but unfortunately he could not be here today. And as convenient for both of us, we should pay him a visit. Should indeed. Go on, Laverne. Don't miss a chance to say a word to each of your friends. After all you've been through together, I'm sure they appreciate it. I can still scarce believe our battle extended to the ends of creation, but seeing the Science mission to completion was both an honor and a privilege. As for myself, I've spent quite a while away from home, so I think I'll return to Limsa Lominsa for now. And once I get there, my first order of business will be downing a pint or 3 at the Drowning Wench. Good plan. The exploits of you and your companions are truly an inspiration to us all. I have never felt more compelled to hone my own skills that I one day might be able to accomplish such heroic deeds. Oh, sorry. Artemis means to visit Limsa Laminsa, and I will join him and continue my search. I know not when we will meet again, but please take care of yourself. It's a shame the signs are disbanding, even if only a name. I still fondly recall the day you granted me my uniform. The memory remains vivid, yet it feels like a lifetime ago. I considered returning to the Adder's Nest, but since I've come this far, I've decided I ought to continue my journey and venture to Garlemald instead. I can't hold a candle to the infamous Wandering Minstrel, but I thought I might share with the Garleans the tale of your epic deeds, extend to them an olive branch of song, if you will. Sounds good. I'm actually going to leave those two for last. Because I love their stories so much. Good talk. This is ridiculous. You have something to say, then out with it. Just worried how you'll earn your keep now. Just wondering how I'll earn my keep now. I'm not worried about him at all. What? I thought you adventurers had any number of ways to earn coin, and though the science mode of operation has changed, we should be compensated as before. In any case, I do not want 4 options, even if some are worse than others. No sooner did Emmerich hear about our disbandment than he offered me a position as a guardsman in the Imperium district. The former Azure Dragoon, I'm guaranteed to be popular, he said. Who does he take me for? Even without his meddling, I'm perfectly capable of finding employment. And have. Some days ago, a Hainish envoy arrived with word from Vitra. The worm requests my presence as soon as things have settled here. He didn't deign to mention why I'm needed, but it pertains to dragons, like as not. In Fafnir, like elsewhere, the phenomena caused by the final days abated when you defeated Meteon. Though it was too late for those who had already transformed, life is beginning to return to normal for the survivors. Of those who sought refuge in Sharlayan, most have already returned home. But many do not have a home to return to, nor loved ones. By an arrangement between Vitra and the Forum, such soul may remain in Sharlayan if they wish, to work and study. Vitra was always the satrap in truth. It's gratifying to see him become one in name as well. One who has the complete confidence of his people. The envoy's tone was any indication. I often find myself speaking favorably of dragons of late. Not so long ago, I would have assumed his benevolence hid ulterior motives, but it is clear he cares for his people, and they in turn revere him. To know such a nation may flourish is comforting. Vitra's kin sought release from conflict, so weary were they of the suffering it wrought, they surrendered to oblivion. But Midgardsormr didn't give up. In hope he made the journey to distant Ephesus with his clutch of eggs. And though his progeny went on to be embroiled in conflict with men, there were times when they transcended hatred to abide in harmony. That is their legacy, and their triumph. In my lands, I feel the weight of their struggle and the strength of their resolve, and it lends me strength. These things I might never have learned had I not joined you. Should I ever have need of me, I will come. At the very least, it might be an opportunity to earn coin. That's true. Word has it a false deity born in the Tower of Zod has survived, and occasionally appears to terrorize the locals. Those who vanquish the being and present proof in Arasat Han will receive a handsome reward, though handsome isn't the word I would use to describe such outlandish garb. Oh. But while I'm in Fafnir, perhaps I will acquire a set to send to Emmerich in lieu of an answer to his job offer. Let him stand guard thus attired and be the talk of the Imperium, not all Kurfus. Oh my. Far too much blood has been spilled, far too many lives lost. Still, I'm glad I was able to do something to repay those who showed me a path to the future. Not that our job is over, of course, far from it. There is much that remains to be done before true and lasting peace can be achieved. With that end, Horrid, I mean to set off for Corvos. We expect that the tensions between the Guardians and Corvosi will only flare more with the Empire's fall. I still remember the day we sparred together as though it was yesterday. To think how far we've all come since then. Even now, I have not abandoned... Did I miss one? No. Even now, I have not abandoned my dream of besting you in single combat. Of a friendly nature, of course. Though I clearly do not hold a candle to the Warrior of Light at present, I shall continue to train diligently, that one day you might consider me an equal. Oliver, might you have a moment to talk? With the sign stepping away from the public eye, I've been left to consider what new endeavors I might pursue. And after speaking with Kryl, I've decided I'll be assisting her in rebuilding the students of Bardassian. Not only am I indebted to Master Galuf for giving me a new home, but had our order never existed, I would have never set foot within the Crystal Tower. How different my life might have been. Would I have never met you, never become caretaker of the tower, never became a scion? You gave me the chance to do so much good, and I hope to continue to do so with the students. For an added benefit, new mysteries often find their way to our doorsteps, mysteries that could prove ideal for fulfilling our promise to embark on a new adventure together, like any we've experienced before. Aww. Yes! Whenever you have the time and inclination, my friend, I stand ready to accompany you onto the unknown. Do you recall in the realm of the Omicrons when I asked if you thought I may someday be mentioned in your epic? Or this true that to earn a place at your side would be the stuff of dreams? In the end, nothing would give me greater joy than to stand with you in the here and now. It needn't be some grand endeavor, there needn't be a promise. Whenever adventure calls, I won't hesitate to invite you, and I hope that you will do the same for me. As long... I can't. I have to. As long as you don't overexert yourself. I know. I can all but hear Lena and Ben Luke's voice each time you remind me. As much as we have already seen, there's still so much we haven't. Who knows, perhaps we will even encounter survivors of the Omicrons somewhere out there. Oh? After all, given how they took to the stars, it isn't implausible that some found themselves far from home. And should we encounter a wayward traveler awaiting commands that will never come, I would bid them seek adventure with someone, and with that partner find new purpose, a new dream. For if crystals can hold fast to dreams, why not Omnicrons? Wherever your plans may lead, do not hesitate to send word, and should a commission of interest come my way, you'll be the first to know. By the way, have you spoken with Fear Ul of late? Some days ago, they appeared to me in a dream. Of the sleeping persuasion, that is. All is well in the first, they bade me tell you. When I asked why not tell you themselves, they unleashed giant ravenous beavers upon me. Have you perchance done something to cure their ire? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We need to talk to Feol. I'm so glad I was able to be here this moment. You know, I considered continuing to follow in Hori's footsteps, but I've realized it's time I found my own way in life. Otherwise, I'll never be half the man my brother is. First things first, I'm going to head to Gridania to visit the Conjurer's Guild and the Archers Guild. I'll do my best, very best to brush up on my skills before I see you again. Good plan, good plan. We may have accomplished our goal and put it behind us, but my time with the Scions provided memories that will last me a lifetime. What bliss to think I was blessed with our chance to experience such unbridled brotherly love. Ah, but now that Ocker has decided to set off without his dear brother, without the two of them together, I fear I might suffer withdrawal. I'm so glad the danger is past. There was nothing I could do but pray from here, so I was relieved to the point of tears when everyone made it back safely. I imagine we'll have more free time now, so I was thinking I'd study up on healing magic, but I could make myself more useful in the future. My first stop will be the Astrologicum in Ishgard to learn about Charlian astrology. I must follow Ocker's lead and continue to hone my skills. Good plan. Oh, are you saying our farewells? Are we saying our farewells too? I hadn't at present planned on a journey of any great length. Not that I am averse to the moment or two of quiet reminiscence. In fact, there was something I'd been meaning to ask you. Something that has been on my thoughts since the last flames of the final days subsided. During our travels, we have witnessed more than a lifetime's worth of oddities and spectacles, more than can be easily recalled or remembered. And nestled amongst these memories are certain essential facts. The history of Ephirus and the ancients, glimpses of the ear, their culture and philosophy. Rather than simply hoard such treasures in my mind, I wonder if I should not be disseminating them in formal records for wider consumption. Oh. When needed, I have penned reports. And prepared briefings, but ever have I balked at the idea of binding the subject of my studies in a book or tablet. Truth is, giving shape and interpretation. When we seek to capture it with our words, it is invariably molded to fit a narrative, no matter how well-intentioned the rendering. An event is described as sad, a summation which fails to express the emotional complexity, yet the word on the page is what endures, a pale shadow of reality. For our history, some have deliberately embellished the truth, but I believe many, if not most, deviations are the result of similar linguistic shortcomings, piling one upon the other until the end result is unrecognizable from its origins. Which is why I fear that writing an account in my own words would be akin to diluting fine wine with water. Yet, even with the potential for corrupted meaning, I do of course realize the importance of keeping written records. Without them, my search for wisdom would be a painful affair indeed. But what say you on this matter? Should I take up the quill, reflect upon those experiences only we have shared, and seek to preserve them for posterity? No, let them be read and remembered. I like the idea. Very well then. I shall endeavor to pen what I can of the ear and the ancients, and of so many other wonders. But I am no scribe, it will be less polished work and more reordering of scattered notes. In any case, I feel much better for having sought your opinion. Left to our own devices, we tend to overthink such things. I will otherwise return to following where my curiosity leads. After all, a safe method of travel to the first, it eludes me, and our venture into the great expanse has prompted an entirely new set of questions. Should you stumble into the unknown or struggle with some impenetrable mystery, know that I am at your beck and call. It never hurts to see things from a different perspective, and mine is rather different than most. Hey. Don't you worry, Ishtula. You are the first I would call. Lise came to visit the other day. She peppered me with questions about the lasting repercussions of the final days. I took the opportunity to explain our plans to disband, and she understood our reasoning immediately. Once a sign, always a sign, it would seem. She was eager to relive old times and remember old friends. Bittersweet memories, mayhap, but from the look on her face, the joy outweighed the sorrows. Speaking of that, the salvation Menphilia dreamed for Eorzea comes closer to reality with every step the sign take. Yes, the world may still be in the throes of change, but it is improving. I see it happening day by day, and I sit here praying that whatever new road you walk will bring you the wonder and joy you deserve. Should you need a rest in between your journeys, do come and join me on the terrace for old time's sake. I will. Ah, our champion and savior. I was beginning to think my chance for an audience would never come. That sounded more amusing in my head. Speaking of heads, I was worried about yours, and the rest of you for that matter. On the mend, I trust. Glad to hear it. You were in a bad way, and healing magics or no, I'm impressed by how swiftly you have recovered. And again, 'tis hardly the first time you've cheated death. Your strength of will has never failed to astonish me. Look at what you've accomplished. Meteon defeated, her song of oblivion cut short, the source and all her reflections delivered from the final days. If you had faltered at the last, then all hope would have been lost, but you held fast. Now Reen has a tomorrow to look forward to, and I could ask for no greater gift than that. As for our lesser gifts, however, the next time you see her, I will appreciate you not describing my travel plans with energy as aimless wandering. We have a purpose in our roaming, after all, keeping an eye on things in the absence of the signs on the world stage. There will never be an end to the little problems that go untended by nations. We will do our best to help out where and when we can. Which, I suppose, is an approach not far removed from aimless wandering, when you get down to it. Perhaps I could tell her I am faring well, and leave it at that, eh? No need to mention this feeling of being uprooted. I've never been one to stand still for long, but when I think of home, there's the rising stones which come to mind. How many times have we set out from the space, thence to return when our work was done? On the day the Scions came together, I only hoped for Menphilia to find a place where she belonged, but never did I expect to find one here for myself. Indulge me, Laverne, I have a question for you, and imagine Menphilia herself is asking. Are you glad you joined the Scions? Best decision I've ever made. I can honestly say the same. But all good things must come to an end, at least for a time. Should you need a helping hand for infiltration or reconnaissance, you know who to ask. I'll come running, and you'll likely get a certain funny-talking fortune teller into the bargain. Please take care of Philamen. In case you're not hurt, the Waking Sands will be converted into a warehouse. We'll be keeping the place free of rats and cobwebs. It can still serve as an outpost should the need arise. Considering Tataru's ambition, however, I'd not be surprised if she claimed the lot for her budding empire. Yeah, I can see that happening. Spoken your fill, have you? If so, I'm thinking to send everyone off. Leave the Rising Stones? Wow, what a question. If you have a mission then. Your attention please, at risk of spoiling the mood, the time for departure is upon us. In my capacity as a receptionist, I bid you all safe journeys. Till next time we meet, be well.
I suppose we're off to Garlemald then. Though we ought to speak with Lord Emmerich first. If he's received word of any recent developments, we need to know.
'Twould be prudent to purchase some warmer clothes at least. Mayhap we can pick up a few souvenirs for Euless and the others while we're at it.
Where will you all be heading next?
Dravania. There is a book I've been meaning to borrow from the Great Google Library.
Borrow. Quote,
And I can
unquote.
think of at least one person who will be most displeased should I fail to visit before leaving.
We've no particular destination in mind, but we do intend to stop in Sharlayan before we set off.
Okay.
We had thought to ask after the Loporrits. I am curious as to how well those who chose to remain are adapting to their changed circumstances.
Might we accompany you then? Raha and I were planning to return to the Baldessian Annex.
Commissions have been piling up in our absence, and they must be dealt with ere we begin our work in earnest.
Makes sense.
Estinian, you will return to Rads at Han, will you not?
That is the plan.
Aye. For Vritra's benefit, though I've yet to hear the details. I may not stay long.
I see. Then it is here the Scions at last part ways, each to some far-flung corner of the realm.
Perhaps. But I believe one of our number, a rather important one at that, has yet to divulge his plans.
You know.
Quite right.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Fair point.
So, what's next for our humble adventurer?
I mean, I got a whole laundry list from Emmett Selk. Follow the sparrow. Finn. It's stand tall, my friend. Our journey will never end. I don't think I got that in time. Oh. Alpus. Hello, Vinna.
The constancy of this place never ceases to amaze me.
Oh no, that's
An
La
ocean
Priya.
of souls, shimmering and eternal.
Why are you in white robes?
And yet, something stirs. Yes. Steeped in darkness, deep as starless night. The beast hungers. Alas, I dare not investigate in earnest before the coming of my guiding star, as he foretold.
That is interesting.
We shall descend to the depths, you and I, to confront the dread beast Pandemonium.
Hmm.
Oh, the sights we shall see. The sights we shall see.
You have completed the main scenario quest Endwalker. Quests to unlock new content have now become available in all Charlian. Additionally, you may now enter the dead ends with a party of NPCs, avatars, and so on and so forth. We have done it. Best world champion of Etheris for many and more adventures are to come. The chorus might ring for all.